Harrogate on day 3 of the Lombard RAC. The cars will be rolling in here in about an hour after 18 long hours on the road. Now, day 3 was always going to be the toughest of the entire rally. It's more than lived up to that expectation. This third day of the rally has been a day of high drama right from the start as the drivers struggle to cope with the rain and the mud, the long testing stages in Kielder. Has a reputation for swallowing rally cars whole. That forest, it certainly claimed some very famous victories and victims today. For example, the splendid storming charge of Colin McRae is over. Didier Auriol has been knocked off the leaderboard. In one stage, 10 cars went out. One driver said it was like driving through a junkyard. So after all that, the new leader tonight is the Flying Finn. Juha Kankkunen, and Carlos Sainz, his arch rival, is now over 5 minutes adrift. So it does look as if that world title has gone for good. The day started at 7 a.m. this morning as the cars drove north into the Lake District, on into Kielder. 12 special stages, 151 stage miles in total. And we'll pick up the action with Alan Douglas in Grisdale.
The Lake District has a proud record of thinning out the leaderboard on the RAC. As the overnight leader, Carlos Sainz, made his way through the daunting 17.5-mile Grisdale West, he must have been aware that this stage saw the departure of both Russell Brooks and Juha Kankkunen in 1986. It also decided the second place between Blomqvist and Eklund the following year. And he was justly concerned. With serious overheating problems in the Toyota, he lost the lead to the Frenchman Didier Auriol, who made his intentions clear right from the start. On the opening stage, he took 5 seconds off the world champion and another 28 seconds on stage 2, but he was finding the going very slippery. Kankkunen was playing it cautiously in the deceptive conditions. The track appeared dry in parts, but coverings of pine needles created the effect of black ice. And it was a combination of the camber and the treacherous surface which led to McRae's major mishap. These pictures, shot by Top Gear viewer Jonathan Brown from Clitheroe, show the car is stuck fast. But with plenty of muscle power around, co-driver Derek Ringer gets out to direct the operations. There's nowhere to drive the car out. The only option is to take it back the way it came and roll it back onto the road. Colin watches as teammate Vatanen roars past. That's 4 minutes lost. From the start line with the in-car camera of Timo Salonen, we can see how quickly McRae came to grief. He'd gone only 25 seconds into the stage on the 5th bend. The Subaru is emerging, but still can't get traction. And that's Blomqvist almost pushing the car off again. But with the added weight, McRae is sent on his way.
How far in the stage was it?
Just very near the start. Just a fast left over a crest, then a very tight right, and we didn't have it cautioned in the notes, and we just slid a bit wide. Very hardly off the road at all, and it was just a big ditch, and it rolled over into the ditch.
Oh dear.
That's the way it goes.
Emergency repairs at the end of the stage, and McRae proved he hadn't lost his nerve by setting second fastest time on the next stage. And things weren't going much better for teammate Marco Allen. He was caught out on a slippery right-hander on Wither. Let's look again with pictures from viewer David Haggis from Skipton. But once again, spectators were on hand, and with some coordinated heaving, Alain made his unconventional way back onto the track. But he lost 5 minutes, and his clutch and gearbox had to be replaced at the next service. Louise Aiken-Walker was in pain, her right hand bandaged after the effort of gear changing yesterday, but she was unhappy with her performance. "My mother could drive better," she said. And her fellow Scot, Robbie Head, held on to the leadership of the Group N showroom class in his Cosworth. The conditions in the Lake District were treacherous. It's home territory for Dave Metcalf in the Nova, but even he found it hard and exciting work.
Into flat right, into K left. Opens flat left over crest, continues, 70. Fast left over crest, 50. Curve K right, continues, 70. Flat right, 70. Flat right, 70. Slight left, 50 K left. 70. Curve K right into hairpin left. 20. Curve easy left, continues into K right.
And there's been quite a battle going on in the class honours too, with several changes of leadership. By Kielder, Class N1 was being led by Stuart Harrington in his Peugeot, while N2 had been led for most of the day by Stephen Green in a very distinctive Nova GTE. In N3, Guy Anderson had taken control in another Peugeot, and Czechoslovakian Pavel Sabira led A5 in his works Skoda. Richard Burns was the leading driver in A7 in his work-centred Peugeot 205.
Looks absolutely fearsome. So after 27 stages with half the day gone and the rain still beating down, Oriol had opened up a 29-second gap at the top. Sainz was now 33 seconds clear of Kankkunen, and 6 minutes separates the top 8 drivers. The pace in these difficult conditions was truly blistering. Meanwhile, our own somewhat pacey pocket rocket Tony Mason had managed to catch up with the drivers as they were having a breather before they dived on into Kielder.
We're here in Kielder, but this is a part of Kielder you don't know. It's the village hall in Burness. It's the regroup control, and all the drivers are having coffee before setting off into Kielder Forest. They left Chester very early this morning, but there's still 2/3 of today's forest mileage to go. Looking happy, Didier. Everything okay?
Yes, for the moment everything okay. It's we drive really fast, and okay, the car feels well. The night it's a little different. It's very hard the night, very difficult, I think.
You've had a bit of a problem this afternoon.
Well, you know, in problem is coming my side, you know. I lost my car control and I am, you know, rolling, yeah.
Did that lose much time?
Yeah, it's, you know, spectators is working really hard, and thank you for spectators, but, you know, I am 2 down and taking 5 minutes, I am back in Rally Road.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Absolutely, my mistake.
So, now the 2/3 of today is still to go, the stage mileage in Kielder.
Yeah, now it's coming very important stages in Kielder Forest.
And the top 3 cars all seem to be trouble-free and all equally placed.
Yeah, difference not so much. Today we have been problems with the temperature of the water in the car. I hope it's not getting worse.
But Kielder once again lived up to its reputation. Sainz survived, but only just, and his chances of retaining the world title slipped with every stage. Others weren't so lucky. Didier Oriol crashed out on the final test, having led throughout the 7 Kielder stages. And having survived once, McRae went off again even more spectacularly, but this time stayed where he was, perched on a deer fence. Alain was also a victim of pundershaw. His Subaru ground to a halt after the turbo caught fire. And Kielder also claimed Stig Blomqvist, struck by bad luck in the Reedsdale stage after, ironically, the wishbone broke on his Nissan.
So, Carlos, what's the position then?
I don't know, because in the last stage we lost 3 minutes.
You've lost time with this with the head gasket.
Yeah, we have to change the head gasket. It was coming, I told you already in the regrouping, some problems with the temperature, and then it was coming worse and worse, and we have to change the head gasket.
But you're now running very late on the road.
Yeah, and in the last stage also we have some problems. We lose all the oil for the transmission and power steering.
So things don't look as though they're going your way at the moment.
No, not at all.
Oh dear, very sorry.
Okay.
So it could be that Fearsome Kielder has settled this year's World Drivers' Championships. And as the drivers straggle back into Harrogate this evening, here's the closing leaderboard today. Kankkunen now 3 minutes ahead of Ericsson, who's obviously had a splendid rally, and 6 minutes clear ahead of Carlos Sainz. Now, Russell's with me again this evening. Russell, slaughter in the forest, would you say?
Well, Killer Kielder lived up to its reputation once again, didn't it? But don't forget, you know, Kielder is almost 1/3 of the competitive mileage to this rally, so it's a very, very tough section.
I can remember Ari Vatanen saying that it was really terrifying to drive through Kielder in the dark at high speed. It must be a nightmare in the wet.
Sure. You've got to remember that the dust is so fine in the summer. In the winter, that mud hangs in the air like a mist. It almost makes it as if your lights lose all their power. You can't see properly. It's very slippy in the slow corners. But the rest of the time, 90% of the time, you're doing over 100 miles an hour. So it's very difficult to adjust your speed.
Now, obviously, at this stage, the quality of the service crews is critical. Is there very much variation in quality?
A lot, yes. You start to see which teams have trained together as a team, and particularly the emergency services are critical. I mean, Toyota today changed Kankkunen's head gasket, not Kankkunen's, you know, Sainz's head gasket in 30 minutes, which is a tremendous feat, and that shows the training they've had throughout the year.
Now, last night you put the kibosh on Colin McRae. You're going to stick with Kankkunen tomorrow?
Well, all the other drivers are hoping that I'm going to tip him to win, so maybe that'll fix his chances, but we'll see.
Russell, thank you very much indeed. Well, there we are, 33 stages down, only 4 to go. Now, if you want to stay in touch with the rally, as usual, you've got Radio 5 with its hourly bulletins. You've got CFAX on page 381. You've got our own hotline on 0898 448845. That's all from us tonight. We'll be back tomorrow at 8 o'clock, and at 5 minutes to midnight we'll leave you tonight with that bit of business at McRae's Corner that caused so much bother today.